Hi, I'm Emma Wall, and joining me today is Justin Anukasi from LGIM to talk about why diversity matters as we celebrate Black History Month. Hi, Justin.
Hi, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very well, very well.
So I thought we could focus on finance, investing, it is your speciality after all, and financial services, and talk about why is diversity important?
So I think within financial services, diversity is important for three main reasons. So firstly, the investment community serves a wider society and should be representative of that wider society. Secondly, I think greater representative diversity should lead to better cognitive diversity. And we've seen all the studies. The more diverse your leadership team is, the more diverse your investment team is, typically the stronger the results. And the last thing is, as asset managers, as people that work in financial services, as institutions that work in financial services, we have a contribution to make to society to represent fairness and to reduce inequalities.
And although there is a heck of a long way to go, in recent years there's been some really positive strides forward, haven't there, in promotion of diversity and inclusion across financial services?
There definitely has, and there is a long way to go, right? So you look at the Citywire global survey for managers, 10% globally are women. New Financial Report in 2017 said that, in the whole of the investment industry, only 12 there's only 12 black fund managers out of thousands. So there's a long way to go. But the industry is listening and the industry is moving. I think this is really important. And I think the biggest change that we've seen is that companies are realizing that they have to adapt their corporate cultures to the people that they employ. And I think this is really important because initially, a few years ago, I think people were coming into businesses and were being asked to adapt to the corporate culture. But now businesses are recognizing in order to create a feeling of belonging, in order to create a feeling of inclusivity, you have to adapt to different cultures and the different people that you hire.
And of course, as you mentioned to begin with, that then gets better results for everyone, better results for employees, better results for clients and investors too, doesn't it?
No, definitely. All the studies do show that the more diverse thinking you can bring into your team, the better investment ideas, the better the conversation, and that leads to better results overall.
So then what more can be done? Because we've talked about some of the positive strides that have been made, some of the progressive moves that have been made, but there's still more to be done. So what can financial services do to promote inclusion and diversity?
So I think you can separate this question into company level and then individuals within financial services. So at company level, I think it's about putting down your allegiances and joining forces with other companies within the financial sector to really drive better inclusion throughout the whole of financial services. This isn't a company issue, it's a societal issue, and therefore the only way we're really going to address this is together. And that's why the Diversity Project, for example, which brings together lots of different asset managers, is quite powerful in driving diversity throughout the asset management and investment and savings industry. And the second thing I think is, as individuals, we have to recognize that if we want the change to happen, we have to be allies. But being an ally to others isn't just an identity. It's actually doing something. You have to do something to be a true ally. I think that, again, is really important. If we want to drive greater equality, it's all of our responsibilities, and we all have to stand together side by side to create a more inclusive financial services industry.
How do we bring that about? You talked about working together. Are there any other particular initiatives or steps that we can take as individuals? Because I think some of the concern is that financial services has a bit of a brand problem, right? So we've got to do better to make sure that people know this is a place where you can come and work and you'll be appreciated and you'll be supported.
So the Diversity Project, as I mentioned, is a really powerful way that companies are coming together to solve this problem and this challenge. individuals can join the diversity project, sign up to mentoring programs and so on and so forth. But I think as an ally, there's really 5 ways to be an ally. You can be an upstander. So that's, standing out from a PR perspective and saying things like, I support and champion this cause. You can be a sponsor. So you can sponsor minorities or people that are marginalized within your business, and for promotion, for pay rises, etc., etc. Can you be a confidant? So if somebody's going through a tough time, feels like they're not belonging in your business, you can be that shoulder for them to cry on or to speak to provide them with that support. You can be a scholar. There's lots of scholars in the investment services industry and the financial services industry, as you know. And that's just understanding, being the researcher, being the one who really kind of puts the pieces together. I think last but not least, you can be a supporter. And this is somebody that calls out injustices within their business or within wider society. So I think they're just a few of the ways people can get involved.
Justin, thank you very much.
Thank you.